Good morning. Not Monday morning today, good Tuesday morning today. I'm coming at you a day late. Um, Honestly, so yesterday my husband started working at a different location, much closer to home. He does construction, so locations change. And anyways, he had to get out the door a lot later than normal. And in fact, it felt like a Sunday to me. It felt, or Saturday, weekend day. It just felt so weird. So I get out to the barn, and I was like, it's Monday. Oops, I don't have anything. I wasn't still in my pajamas. I wasn't gonna record in that. Um, so I come at you on a Tuesday instead this week. I hate that the lighting is so weird. I should bring out my light. The shadows are so weird on my face, but oh well. We deal with what we have, right? So today I thought, so yesterday when I realized I had totally messed up with recording and I wouldn't be getting a video out. Loretta's here. You probably saw her in the background. She's all ready. What are you doing up so early? All ready to go. Today's supposed to be like 95 degrees. 92 apparently, but like a heat index of 105. It's going to be a scorcher. So I think she's excited for that. We don't have our pool up yet. It would have been nice if we did have it up today, but the weather's been kind of cruddy, kind of cool, and not really pool appropriate, so we haven't gotten it up yet. We'll have to do that this week, right, Loretta? Well, try to find some time to get it up. Oh, she came up here to say happy anniversary. Thank you, Loretta. So yeah, today is mine and my husband's anniversary. That's why I thought yesterday that, I'll just record instead of skipping a week. I'll just record on Tuesday and talk about our anniversary. So I thought I could make this how my husband and I met and our wedding story, because we actually have some pretty atypical stories. We'll just talk about that. Talk about love today, right? And nice part of my shirt. So we met a long time ago. We actually met when I was 16, and he was 18. He had just graduated the year before. We met in December, and what happened was there was a football game, a high school football game at my school we were at, and a friend of mine, and she knew some guy, I don't even know his name now, and he'd come to the football game, and she introduced our group of friends to him and his group of friends, and there was this one guy there that named Matt. I don't know. Anyway, somehow he got my phone number, and the next week he called me and asked if I wanted to go to a wrestling tournament. And honestly, I was just kind of bored, and I wasn't, for whatever reason, wasn't doing anything that Friday, and I thought, well, sure, why not? I wasn't like interested really in the guy, but I was only 16. Like, I feel like I was such a baby, but when I was 16, I thought I knew everything, We all been there. Anyway, and he asked if I could bring a friend, which I would have done anyways, because I don't really know the guy. So I was calling around and found a friend that was willing to come along with me. And by the time I got over there to the town, the wrestling, little did we know, the wrestling tournament was like over, or the match, I guess it wasn't a tournament, it was a match. And, the parking lot was full, and so we pull in to find somewhere to park, and this truck pulls out, and we pulled in the parking spot, and then we called him and said, we're here, and they're like, oh, we just left to go to the gas station or something, so funny. That was them that pulled out and we had taken their spot. They came back um, and they get out of the truck and he gets out and I recognized this one Matt, this guy, and then his friend gets out and I was like, ooh, he's a tall cowboy and handsome, tall, dark, and handsome, right? And oh, I know that's not Mike, or I know that's not Matt because Matt was a shorter guy. Nothing against short guys. I just knew it wasn't. I was hopeful that was the guy I was going on this date with. And so, anyways, so I was on this, not really a date, but sort of a date with this Matt guy, and my friend Jamie was on the date with Mike. And yet, like, Mike and I were kind of, like, both a little, like, wishing each other, that they were fun. And we ended up not going to the wrestling tournament, or match, because it was pretty much over, and we went to a movie. And long story short, we exchanged numbers, or somehow he got my number, and we started talking, and we ended up dating just a few days later. And his buddy was a little mad, young, understandable, but after years and years and years and years and years of dating, he finally was like, okay, fine, you guys were meant to be together, it's all right. I just wasn't interested in the other guy at all, and not that he was a bad guy, just wasn't interested in him. And so that's how we met. We were on a blind date, essentially, but opposite dates. So it's kind of a fun story. Again, I feel like, so my parents wouldn't allow me to date till I was 16, and I feel like that's so young now as I'm a mom. Like, I could totally see why my parents did that, and now I'm like, 16? Are you kidding me? You're not going to date till you're 20, and so we've been together for 18 years now. So I remember our nephew is 19, and he had turned 1 just a few months after we started dating. So that's how I remember how long we've been dating. I take how old he is and subtract a year. Or it should say how long we've been dating, how long we've known each other. Obviously we're not dating anymore, we're married. So it was fun. He had graduated. I still had a couple years left in school, and he was a big bull rider back then. He did a lot of bull riding, and we had fun. We had a lot of similar interests and everything, and we got married 4.5 years later, like to the day, which was kind of cool. Let me give Apple her green. Okay, and then our wedding story. So, today's June 14th. It is Flag Day. It is our anniversary. 14 years ago, is there such thing as a golden wedding anniversary? Because if there is, this is it. We were 14 years together, 14 years married on the 14th. So there was a flood back in 2008. We had a major flood in Wisconsin. We're in the Wisconsin Dells area, and dam broke, and it's huge flooding. What do they call 100-year flood? One of those things. And so that happened the week before our wedding. I will never forget. I worked at a bank at that time. Worked at a bank for a long time, and I was on my way to work, and I was passing by a reception site, which is a park in the little town that we lived, and I thought, I'm gonna go check it out and see how it's doing, because of this flood. There was a little river that went past it. Well, I pull in, and this is Monday, and we were supposed to get married on Saturday. Pull in, and it is underwater, like completely. Like, our pavilion that we rented was underwater. It was, I was like beside myself. Like, I'm supposed to get married in like 6 days, and our wedding reception is underwater. Like, not even just a little wet, it's, 8 feet underwater. And I just bawled. I remember going to work and I'm crying, and the ladies were like, yo, I'm sure I was Bridezilla. I'm sure I was. The ladies at work were, I'm sure, very kind to me, but probably like, oh, this lady. I was just beside myself, understandably. I mean, it was a big event happening that all of a sudden I had to change directions. And so then I'm panicking, what are we going to do? We ended up, the church that we're getting married at has a school next to it, and they let us rent the gymnasium, which was great. I was so upset because it wasn't the vision I had, like I pictured what our reception was going to look like, and it was all going to be outdoors, and it was just going to be completely different. And I'm like, in a gymnasium, we're getting married at a gymnasium, or we're having a reception, but you know what? It turned out great. It really did. Anyway, but I so thankful that we had found somewhere to go. What else were we gonna do? We were out of time to find anywhere to go. So, then there was an issue with getting there because there's a lot of little rivers and stuff that were flooded, and roads were washed out, and bridges were out, and just people coming to our reception or our wedding was an issue. Even like the photographer and stuff like that. Even getting our stuff from our house, we didn't live very far from there, but all the roads to get to our house were washed out the Thursday before our wedding. We could not get to our house where all the decorations were, my dress and all this stuff were at our house, but we could not get there. There was no open road to get to that town. None. Like, absolutely none. So we had to spend the night at Mike's grandma's house, and I won't ever forget that either. And we were devising a plan, like, okay, if we can't get there, if the roads don't open, what are we going to do? And our friend, really, really good friend at that time, he had a dairy farm. He had these big tractors, and we thought, well, we'll just load up in a tractor and go across the water, across these roads and get our stuff. That was our plan. Well, thankfully, they had patched one road enough that we were able to get to the house the Friday before the wedding and get all the stuff. We took everything we possibly could because we didn't know what would happen. Did everything we could and get to the reception, or get to the hall, the gymnasium, so we could decorate the day before. And as we're decorating, it's pouring rain. It continued to rain that Friday before, and they were literally evacuating people on the Dells Wisconsin Ducks, if you know what that is, or amphibious, what is it? A word hard to say, amphibious vehicle, land and water, but they were evacuating people from, we were kind of on one side of the town, up on a hill, this church was, so there was no worry about that being evacuated, but literally at the bottom of the hill, they were evacuating homes that, a block away, because the water was rising again. And we're just gonna do it. I was stubborn. My mom was like, let's just reschedule. I'm like, I'm not rescheduling my wedding. I was so mad. I'm stubborn, and I was gonna get my way. I didn't care if anyone showed up, as long as Mike and I got married. And so yeah, literally while we were decorating our wedding, for our wedding reception, there were evacuating people. And we weren't even sure, we were not at all sure how the next day was going to go. Like, is anyone going to be able to get here? Is anyone going to show up? Is it going to be raining? We couldn't even trust the weather at that point. The weather predictions. Well, lo and behold, Saturday comes around, and it was beautiful. Oh, and Friday night, I completely, Bridezilla lost it on my bridesmaids. I remember I was so stressed. I mean, can you imagine not only the stress of a wedding, weddings are stressful enough, but then a flood, 100-year flood on top of it, and your entire, you literally have no idea what is going to happen. Everything is turned upside down, and I remember my bridesmaids were, I don't remember exactly what it was. They were just talking about something, and we were at my house at that time. The bridesmaids and I, we stayed at the house overnight, and Mike stayed at his buddy's house, and I remember freaking out. I was like, it is my wedding, and I am so freaked out. And you guys are talking about this, and I just lost it. And I apologize later because it was not called for, but I just couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't take it, and I was young. I was, 21 at the time. Anyways, so next day comes, and it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The weather could not have been better. It was perfect. Perfect weather. Absolutely wonderful. The wedding went great. And there were so many people there. There were people that traveled like an hour or more out of their way just to get to our wedding because of the road closures. Hi, Loretta. Because of the road closures. Our photographer, he lived literally 15 minutes away from the wedding, the site, and it took him 45 minutes, I think it was, to get there. But people we had a huge turnout. It was absolutely amazing. We even have a cool picture of us. It looks like we're photoshopped. I'll see if I can insert it here in front of the place where we were supposed to have our wedding reception. And it's totally underwater. But it worked out. It's a good story now, And then a story I'll have to tell another time because apparently weather is like, I don't know what the word is, how to describe it, but we've had a lot of weather-related events in our life because we've even had a tornado, and I don't know that I have told you that story yet. I don't think I have, so I'll have to save that for another time. And our oldest son was born during a tornado warning, and that was fun. I had to labor in the bathroom because there was a tornado warning and they were afraid I was going to hit the hospital. Anyway, so that, lo and behold, that day started a lot of years of weather-related fun for us. But 14 years later, we have a life that we could not even have dreamt of at that time. 3 amazing kids, right, Loretta? This awesome homestead. Definitely not, the kids part, definitely, there's only kids. But the homestead part, we thought that we wanted to raise horses for a while, and this wasn't on our radar 14 years ago. Not at all. So God can do amazing things, right? He does. He's got amazing plans. So that is our love story. So tell me in the description below. I'd love to hear yours. I really enjoy reading people's stories, and I find them very interesting and fun. I hope you enjoyed this. Loretta, you're so funny. So funny. I hope you enjoyed this. And I'm going to finish up here. Get the big barn fan on, because these guys are going to be hot today. Oh, can you go put a hand on her thing? Why she's moving around so much. Maybe. Yeah, this guy's going to be hot today. So I got to get apple. Make sure everyone's got plenty of water. And, get that barn fan on. So, thank you. You guys have a great rest of your day. Be blessed. All right, you want to say bye?
Bye.